Can I tell y'all something? Can I tell y'all something real quick? A few days ago, I decided to do something that I haven't done in a while. I used to do this all the time, but I got out of it because life got a little busy. But I did something that I hadn't done in a long time, and that was I sat down and I listened to my own podcast. In fact, I didn't just sit down. I went to my room, I got under my covers, I sat my phone up, I lay down, and I just listened. Not because I enjoy hearing my own voice. I promise you that's not it. In fact, I'm usually one of my own toughest critics, and you guys are probably your own toughest critic too. But every time I record an episode, I hear things that I wish I would have said differently. The sentence I would have changed. The story I could have told better, gave a little bit of more details, got a little bit more, dramatic about it. The place where I talk too fast or even too slow. So, no, I wasn't listening because I like hearing myself. I was listening because I wanted to hear the way that it sounded to someone else. I wanted to know if I didn't know Ashley, would I stop and listen? Would I believe her? Would I feel like she understood me? Or would it just sound like another podcast telling me how to fix my life? And I did not want that, right? So, y'all come sit with me for a minute. Welcome back to Healing, Hustle, and Home. I'm Ashley Springs, educator, mentor, full time founder, sports mom, and a woman who spent a lot of years trying to lead well in more than one room. So I need a small favor from you before we go any further. If these conversations encourage you, if they make you just pause, stop, and feel a little less alone, would you please hit follow on the podcast? Would you please even make this episode shareable with someone else who's quietly caring more than anyone even realizes? Because y'all, nobody should have to do this alone. Nobody should have to figure things out alone. And honestly, that's exactly why this podcast, Healing, Hustle, and Home, exists today. But today, speaking of today, I don't really want to teach you anything. I just want to tell you what happened. Let's get real. Because I got somewhere to go. Again, I told y'all last week I was headed out. And this week I'm headed out to speak and have an interview with another group of moms. And we are just going to talk about real life. And I'm so excited about it. But I wanted to get this in before I walked out the door. So here's that moment. I pressed play, right? On my phone, laying in the bed. And somewhere in the middle of listening, something unexpected happened. I had this realization that I needed that episode. And it wasn't because I had forgotten what I said. Not at all. It's because I'd forgotten to live it myself. So when I finished listening, I, closed my phone. I didn't have my laptop on. Again, I was in my room. I didn't jump right back into work. In fact, I didn't answer another email. I just laid there, quiet, and actually tears started rolling down my face because it had gotten real for me, and I was truly having a self-reflective moment in my quiet space. So I picked my phone up off the stand, and almost without thinking, you know what we do when we are laying in bed, right? I opened Facebook. I started scrolling, and you know the kind of scrolling I'm talking about too, right? You just pop up and it's like, boom, as soon as you pop it up, there's vacation pictures. Or you might be an Instagram girly. It doesn't matter, but you know what I'm talking about. So boom, there was vacation pictures. There were kids getting ready for school, camps, in college. There were birthdays. There were promotion. Of course, there were funny memes and funny reels. Football highlights. Hey, I'm a football mom, repping football mom stuff today, right? Football highlights. So I love all of this stuff. Just, life. Also people complaining, But that morning, y'all, I wasn't really looking at the pictures, if I'm honest. I was looking at the people behind them. I started noticing things I normally wouldn't have scrolled right past. Yep. So, a friend joking for the third time that week about how exhausted she was. She was joking about it, but I saw the person in it. Someone celebrating a huge accomplishment, y'all, while quietly, they didn't even realize they were doing this, while quietly mentioning how hard the last few months had been. I saw another friend posting a beautiful family picture, and it reminded me that me and my family had not taken a nice, decent, professional family picture in a very long time. And we need to recreate that moment. But I saw that friend posting her beautiful family picture, and I mean, it was so pretty. And I remembered a conversation that we'd had not long ago about how overwhelmed she felt. And I started thinking, how many of us are carrying things that never make it into a post? How many of us have gotten very good, like not just good, but really, really good at showing everyone else the highlight reel while quietly wondering if we are okay? And somewhere in the middle of scrolling through everyone else's life, I realized I wasn't just seeing them. I was seeing me, y'all. Because if you looked at my life right now, you'd probably say, oh, things are so exciting. I've actually heard that. You're doing great things. And they are exciting, and I am doing great things. I'm building a business that I've dreamed about for years and that I've been working on for years. I'm recording this podcast every week. Hey, y'all, thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening, right? I'm serving schools and communities. I love that, right? That's my love language. I'm growing my communities. I'm creating new things. I'm able to enjoy my children and go to all of their events. I'm living in answered prayers that I waited a long time to see. Every bit of that is true. Every bit of it is true. But here's what was also true. I was carrying a to-do list that had become impossible. And like, y'all, my to-do list, crazy, okay? Like, it's a couple of pages, all right? It's literally organized into three different categories: things I need to do just for life, things I need to do for the kids, and things I need to do for the business. So my to-do list feels impossible. I'm talking about ideas. I'm talking about projects. I'm talking about emails, courses, and products that I'm building, phone calls. And I absolutely hate phone calls because everything is a AI and not a real person. I'm talking about content. I'm talking about meetings, plans, things I wanted to create, things I needed to finish, because y'all know that I'm not the only one guilty of starting a lot of stuff and not really finishing it. So things that I needed to finish, things that I felt responsible for. The responsibilities. And every morning, y'all, I would sit down convinced that maybe today I would finally get caught up. Wishful thinking. Did y'all just see the to-do list that I had? It's a couple pages. But I would wake up thinking that today would be the day that I finally got caught up. Except there was nothing to catch up on. Yeah, because my list kept growing faster than I could cross things off. And here's what I finally admitted to myself. I am like a perfectionist, y'all. And this has been one of the biggest challenges for me. But I had to finally admit to myself that I was not overwhelmed because I had too much to do. I was overwhelmed because I kept pretending that I could truly do it all. Now, that's a different problem. Can I tell you the part that I am least proud of? when I get overwhelmed, y'all, I don't always stop, even though that's what we're supposed to do. I will put myself in timeout sometimes, but sometimes, y'all, sometimes I avoid, and not in obvious ways. I don't usually ignore everything. I do the easy stuff, Oh, let me just, just whatever feels easiest in that moment. I'll do the easy things, like I'll answer 5 simple emails. I'll clear out a couple things from my inbox. I'll take a few items away and put them away. I'll fold a load of clothes, right? I do the easy things instead of making the one phone call that I've been avoiding. Don't even get me started about this. I will reorganize my planner, make it all cute, beautiful, colorful, organized. I will reorganize my planner, y'all, instead of making a difficult decision. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? Have you actually done any of these things that I'm talking about? I will convince myself that I am being productive because I am busy. But if I'm honest, and I just like to be honest, I just keep it real. I'm just really postponing the thing that's actually weighing on my heart. And every day that I postpone it, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Maybe you've done that too, or maybe not. Maybe y'all don't even have any idea what I might be talking about right now. But maybe the people who are honest with me, you've done that too. Maybe yours isn't a phone call. Maybe it's finally looking at your finances. I've had days where I avoid those too. You want me to tell you something else I avoid? Checking the mail. Because every time I go out there and check the mail, half of the mail is junk mail, promotional content, and I've got to spend my time going through it, trying to figure out what is in there that's junk and what in there is important. And we need to do the same thing with our life, y'all. There's a lot of junk in our life that we need to go through, sort through, take the time, and figure out what needs to stay, what goes in the trash, and what needs to be shredded like forever. Okay? So maybe it's looking at your finances. And maybe for you, it could be scheduling the doctor's appointments. Yes. Maybe it's having the conversation that you have been rehearsing, replaying, going through in your head for months, but you just haven't gotten it out. Maybe, y'all, it's admitting that your job isn't working anymore. Maybe it's admitting that you are tired, but you keep going. But you're really, really tired. And I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about emotionally tired, spiritually tired, mentally tired. Sometimes avoiding isn't about laziness. I've never been considered a lazy person in my life. Sometimes it's what overwhelm looks like when it doesn't know where to go. So as I lay there that morning, listening to my own words, looking at my own life, this is a mirror moment, not a window moment, right? Looking at my own life, listening to my own words, watching everyone else's lives scroll past on my phone, I realized something that I, Ashley, had spent years helping schools. One of the first things that we always do when I'm working with them is we get honest about where they really are. Before we move anywhere in the conversation, before we plan any next steps, we talk about where are you really? Like what's going on right now? Not where they want to be, not where they tell other people that they are. Like I'm talking about where they actually are. Because you cannot build a meaningful plan on an honest lie. You just can't do it. Nope. And then I laughed because somewhere along the way, y'all, I had stopped doing that for myself. Well, what do you know? I was expecting myself to accomplish everything. Told y'all I was a perfectionist. And when you're a parent and you've got everybody dependent on you, it can feel like even more heavy, right? So I had stopped doing that for myself. I was expecting myself to accomplish everything. When deep down, I'm talking about way deep down, I already knew that was not possible. I don't even know why I was trying it. Anyway, I was measuring myself against a version of Ashley that didn't even exist. Well, no wonder I felt like I was falling behind. No wonder I felt like the weight of the world was on me. No wonder I felt like I couldn't just finish or do anything right. I had created a finish line that kept moving. And so every time I felt like I was getting closer, I got farther away. The finish line just kept moving. It's like I was never going to get there. So I did something that really is quite simple. I told myself the truth. Not the dramatic truth either. Not the pretty package one in a bow either. Just the honest one. Right? Ashley, you are not going to finish everything this week. You're not going to answer every email today. Every good idea isn't for this season. Girl, just write it down and keep a running to-do list. Some of them things you won't even think about next month. Some opportunities are going to have to wait. Some things I'm going to have to say no to, even if that's my children and, I get on their nerves and they don't like when I say no. It don't matter. Some things aren't priorities. They're just possibilities. And possibilities don't all require or deserve equal attention. We have to weigh them out to see where they fit in the right now, where they fit in the today, where they fit in this season. Everything is not equal. Everything does not deserve the same level of attention. Do you know, y'all, what happened after I admitted that? Oh, do you know what happened after I got honest and I admitted that? Girl, you can't do everything. Just stop. Just stop. And it's okay if everything don't get checked off. It wasn't anything magic, y'all. The list didn't disappear. Look, I'm holding it right here in my hand right now. The list did not suddenly disappear. But guess what did? The pressure. The pressure started to slowly disappear. Because honestly, y'all, honesty has a way of removing expectations that were never realistic to begin with, ever. So before we end today, I want to ask you something. And it's not about your to-do list. It's about your truth. It's about your honesty, not to everyone else. Because truth be told, we can be really honest to other people, but we will lie to ourselves. This is not about your to-do list. This is about your truth. What have you been pretending? What have you been pretending? Have you been pretending that you're okay when you're really exhausted? Have you been pretending that you can keep carrying everything when you already know that you just can't? Have you been pretending that this season requires more hustle when maybe it requires you to be more honest? This week, y'all, I don't want you to make another to-do list. I'm sticking to the ones that I have, right? I don't want you to buy another planner, even though if you don't have my Hustle and Flow planner, maybe you should get that one and stick to it. That's the one I'm sticking to right there. But I don't want you to buy another planner if you don't need it. I don't want you to try harder. I just want you to tell yourself the truth. That's it. Because I have a feeling, if you're like me and you get honest with yourself like I've been doing recently, right? The truth that you've been avoiding might be the very place that your healing begins. Thank you, y'all, for sitting with me today. If this conversation felt like it was just for you, Would you please share it with someone else who might need a permission slip to stop pretending? Because nobody should have to figure this out alone, y'all. Nobody. And I want us all to heal and all to keep becoming the woman, keep building the work, keep being a good steward in every single room that we've been trusted with. Because y'all, healing is how you become the woman. Hustle is how you build the work. And home is how you steward every single room that you have been entrusted with. One woman, 2 rooms, 1 life. I'll see you here next week.